Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating discourse by By.Br.anil Kumar Jain. We are going to explore the profound legacy and the incredibly practical daily applications of an ancient, revered text known as the TatvarthaSutra. Now, whether you're already deeply familiar with Jain philosophy or just curious about ancient systems of spiritual discipline, the way this discourse breaks down the sheer power of daily habit is something everyone can relate to. Here's the roadmap for our explainer today. We'll start with the ultimate Jain text, then look at the power of daily practice. After that, we'll cover the specific spiritual fruits and benefits, share some inspiring real-life transformations, and finally, take a quick tour inside its 10 chapters. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the ultimate Jain text. So what exactly is the TatvarthaSutra? Well, it's monumental. Authored by Acharya Umaswamy, this text is basically the bedrock of Jain philosophy. To put its significance into perspective, the speaker compares it to what the Gita is for Hindus, the Bible for Christians, or the Quran for Muslims. And what's really cool is that it's a unifying text. It's equally revered across both the Digambara and Shvetambara traditions of Jainism. It is literally the whole shebang of Jain thought, neatly compiled into one place. Moving right along to Section 2, the power of daily practice. The speaker throws down a pretty direct challenge to the audience here. Are you going to be a spiritual leader, carving your own path through discipline, or just remain an aimless face in the crowd? You see, the crowd just kind of wanders along without any real resolution. But the leader takes charge of their own mind. They're proactive, mindful, and completely driven by daily spiritual action. Having this book sitting on a shelf doesn't do a thing. It's all about building that unbreakable daily habit. I absolutely love this quote from the discourse. It says, "As a rope repeatedly rubs against a stone, it leaves a mark." It perfectly captures the core message. Think about it. Even the hardest, most stubborn stones eventually wear down from just a simple, repeated rubbing of a rope. That's exactly how consistent daily practice works on our minds. You don't need to conquer the whole text in a single day. You just need to be the rope, showing up every single day to make your mark. So, how do we actually build this habit? According to the speaker, following these 3 specific steps completely programs your mind. First, just start the daily recitation. Second, force yourself to stick with it for exactly 21 days, because by day 22, you enter what they call auto mode. Spiritual study literally becomes an automatic reflex rather than a chore. In fact, it becomes so ingrained that if you skip a day, you'll physically and mentally feel this strange void, like something crucial is just missing from your life. To really drive this home, By.Br.anil Kumar Jain shares a beautifully touching story. He talks about an elderly woman who was completely illiterate. She couldn't read a single word. But you know what she did? Every single day, she would lovingly trace her finger over the lines of the TatvarthaSutra. Her pure devotion proved that intention and sheer consistency matter way more than academic literacy. She completely nailed the essence of the practice, better than someone who could read perfectly but lacked the discipline.
Next up is Section 3, Spiritual Fruits and Benefits.
Now, the tradition claims some very specific, tangible rewards. Get this, completing just one full recitation of the text yields the spiritual equivalent of one complete upravas. That's a full 24-hour fast. It is wild to think that the intense physical discipline of fasting is spiritually matched by the focused mindfulness of reciting this single text. But wait, there's more. While your mind is locked into that recitation, you're actively triggering karma nirjara, which is the purification and shedding of past karma. And simultaneously, because your mind is totally occupied with pure thoughts, you are literally blocking the accumulation of new sins. It calms the 4 major passions: anger, pride, deceit, and greed. You're effectively leaving 0 mental real estate for thoughts of violence or theft. It acts like an absolute real-time shield for your mind. All right, let's look at Section 4, Inspiring Real-Life Transformations. The speaker backs all this up with an astonishing real-life story of a businessman from Bina. This guy was living in severe poverty, crushed by a weekly interest debt of just 1 rupee, which, believe me, was a massive burden back then. Desperate for a way out, he started a strict daily devotional chanting discipline. Within a year, entirely debt-free. Fast forward 10 years, and his sheer discipline translated into immense prosperity, with his family owning multiple highly successful factories. The takeaway here isn't just about making money. It's showing how an unwavering, ironclad daily discipline can fundamentally restructure your entire life.
There's another incredible anecdote shared about the power of ingrained habits. An old man is on his deathbed, completely unconscious and totally unresponsive to the world. But the very second someone whispered the Chadahala scripture into his ear, his lips started moving. He instinctively began reciting it along with them. It's a powerful reminder that when your conscious mind shuts down, the deep grooves you've carved into your subconscious through daily repetition are what truly remain. That brings us to our final section. Number 5, inside the 10 chapters. Before we break down the chapters, we need to understand the format. The text is written in sutras. A sutra is basically an aphorism or rule that is so brilliantly concise you can literally recite it in the time it takes to draw a single breath. They are designed for memory, maximum efficiency, and profound depth, using the absolute bare minimum of words. So let's look at the structure. The first half of the book is all about mapping out existence itself. Chapter 1 kicks off fundamentally with knowledge and faith. Chapter 2 defines the soul, or jiva, and the senses. Then, chapters 3 and 4 map the physical universe, the lower and middle worlds, and the heavens. Finally, chapter 5 wraps up the first half by categorizing the non-soul elements, or ajiva. It's an incredibly systematic breakdown of everything that exists. Then, the second half pivots from mapping the universe to mapping the spiritual journey. Chapters 6 and 7 deal with the Shrava, that's the influx of karma into the soul, and the vows used to manage it. Chapter 8 explains Bandha, or how that karma actually bonds to you. Chapter 9 is the big turning point, covering Samvar and Nirjara, the stoppage and shedding of that karma, and it all culminates in Chapter 10 with Moksha, the ultimate liberation. It is quite literally a complete, step-by-step roadmap from suffering to absolute freedom. Acharya Vidyananji summed up the genius of this text perfectly. He said, condensing the vastness of Jain cosmology, the complex mechanics of karma, and the path to ultimate liberation into these tiny, single-breath sutras is, quote, like piercing a mustard seed to fit an ocean inside it. I mean, wow. It is an absolute marvel of spiritual engineering. So we've explored the legacy, the mechanics, and the immense power of the TatvarthaSutra today. But here's the thing. Information without action is just trivia. So I'm going to leave you with the exact same provocative question the speaker posed to his audience. What daily resolution will you make today to become a leader in your own life, rather than just wandering aimlessly as part of the crowd? Think about it. Choose your discipline, be that rope against the stone, and start making your mark. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you on the next